I want to talk just a little bit more about the ways in which we discover new species. Orchids are rare. You probably know that they're endangered. There's lots of rules on how we can move them from country to country. They're under threat from habitat destruction. And yet, there are so many that continue to be discovered and are new to science. Every year, dozens, if not hundreds, of new orchid species are discovered. So I mentioned this one, discovered and named by one of my former PhD students from Columbia. It's really beautiful. It was sitting there all along, just not being recognized as new to science. What is required to name a new species, of course, is to compare an entity like this to the plants that we do know. And we can't necessarily get in there, but on that back bench are dozens of other species within this same genus. And some of them have yellow flowers, some of them have brown flowers or pink flowers. And as my student Raphael compared this plant when it came into bloom, he thought, whoa, wait a minute, those flowers look really different from anything I've ever seen before. And so he compared them and then did some genetic analysis as well to show that the DNA of this plant was really different from the other ones that we knew. So right away we realized, oh, this is something new to science. We didn't have to go on an expedition climbing mountains or going into the deep, dark jungles. We had this plant in the living collection. It was just labeled as something else. But when it came into flower, we realized we had something new, something different. And that's really the joy of discovery and working with plants like these. So we've now named it. To name a plant simply requires that you write a description, a very technical scientific description. You explain your justification for why this is a new species. It's really a hypothesis, right? We're saying we think this is new, here's our evidence, and we attempt to publish that. And just like all scientific methods, there's a peer review process. So our colleagues would have received the manuscript for review, and they would either reject or accept our proposition, our hypothesis that this is a new species. And so that's really how the process of discovery happens.